Hello everybody, it's Ken Faulkner, and I got my second video off of Blade Show knives, and man, I'm just excited. I got a nice long road to travel here, and it is awesome. And Divo is one of those companies that is always on my list at shows. Always. They're always at shows. I wonder if they weren't at Texas. Maybe they didn't go to Texas. I don't know. I know their Blade Show West. I think it's because Colin lives up that way. And of course, Blade Show Atlanta, because it's the biggest. And it's the best. It's the best knife show, at least that I've been to. I guess SHOT Show, but that's not really just knives. It's all kinds of stuff. But yeah, everybody says it pretty much, and I know that from my experience, it's the best. This knife is not one that's been, recently released. Everybody knows. It got released and sold out real quick, and then everybody just started raving about it, and everybody was just like rubbing it in because I didn't get it. I can't remember exactly why I didn't get it. It may have been that I had just bought something like the Mac 2 or some expensive knife that I spent a lot of money on. Maybe that's what it was. This one is, not super expensive in my book. It's a $219 knife, but it is one of the best Divos that I have. Now, it's only been a little while, so it's kind of hard to, make judgment for only a few days of having it, but it is a very cool knife. And, of course, it may be I'm influenced by the fact that everybody says good things about it. But anyway, got the Divo cloth. It doesn't have that towel thing, the towel. I got one of those here. I use these all the time. These blue towels. And it has Divo on it. Didn't have one of those, which is fine. And it may be because maybe it did when it was originally coming out, but this one had been around for a while, and I don't know what they do as far as stashing some away. I was really concerned that maybe they would not have any at the show. I never heard any talk about what Kevin was going to bring to the show. But anyway, so I was very happy, and they seemed like they had a lot of different knives, and I think that's very, very cool because they sell out so fast in most cases. So if you see this clip, it may look super familiar. I put a comment on the Tempest Knives video when it finally dawned on me, and you may have heard my voice when I took it out and I said, "Oh, it got this clip," and and there's a different kind of clip, but there was also a wire clip on the knife. And after doing the video, I realized that this one was the one that came with the tall boy. And I remember now Kevin talking about how they now are doing their milled titanium clips, and there it is in all its glory, but saying that yes, if you do like the wire clip, we are going to provide that one. So I was coming up with this story. I was like panicking. I'm like, freaking out, what the heck? Why is it? I have no idea. But yeah, it is a shorter clip, but yeah, I'm certain that it did belong to this knife. And I did admit it in the comments, but you may not have seen the comments, so I just want everybody to know. Yeah, it is the one that comes with the tall boy, and I guess maybe for the foreseeable future, they may be providing that clip with the ones that they have the mill clip on. I think this is going to be more their standard now. Maybe it'll be like Chavez, the way Chavez always has a plain one along with their skull clip. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, talk about the knife. It's a nice big knife. I really like the size of it. Yes, everybody was saying great things about it, and there's a lot of great things to say. It's got some really cool carbon fiber. I didn't even really appreciate it until I had carried it for a while and got to see it in the light. And you can really see it's subtle. It's not like a 80s party type carbon fiber, camo carbon party 80s celebration with all the color. It's much more subtle. And I do like those more colorful ones, but it's not my main thing. And more of my knives tend to be more like this. I like this being a little bit more subdued. I really do like it a lot. This interesting kind of concentric circles that get bigger and bigger as they go out. I think that's super cool. It kind of reminds me of the way TRM does their milled titanium milled scales with that pattern, that starburst kind of pattern that gets bigger and bigger as it goes out. So it's a similar kind of thing. Obviously a different style, being the concentric circles. Let's get the knife out, because that's what everybody wants to see. They're probably calling it a modified sheep's foot. Could call it a Warrenscliffe because it does look very, very flat. But I'm looking at it against the box here, and I'm thinking there is a slight belly to it. So maybe we'll modify it. I'm just liking calling things reverse Tonto. I guess it's because so many people are kind of anti it. I don't know. And it doesn't really matter what you call it, because you know me, I can't remember names anyway. So what's the big deal? At least to me. I mean, I remember faces. I remember people and experiences and things like that. But names and sometimes specs and things like that are a little bit hard for me to remember. But the beauty of this blade and the grind lines, that satin grind on the hollow, and you can see it's hollow, right? When you reflect it on the light, some people will be showing a knife and not really talking about how hollow it is. And I'm looking at it, I'm going, wow, the way the light reflects on it, you can tell that it's not a flat blade. And I draw to that. I am definitely drawn to it. I think it's really, really, really cool. Action is excellent. It's right on point. I mean, it's not like immediately dropping for me. I mean, I'm sure you can dial it in if you wanted to do that. And if you push over the lock bar enough, you can do it. But it's not really what I particularly like, but I think that, if that's what you like, you can do it depending on the way you and probably getting in, cleaning it up, oiling it up, that kind of stuff, you can make it drop. But as long as I get a slight shake, if I can get that slow hydraulic, that's like the ultimate for me. But doesn't quite have that right now, and I don't need it on every knife. So I'm happy with the action. It does have that cool exposed liner lock. So it is like a inset liner lock, but they cut out the outside here, and it's cool because they match it on both sides. And then you can see the liner on this side, you can see it on this side, and that way it gives you excellent access to that liner, like tons and tons of access to the liner. And also when you have it open, and I didn't realize this until I heard somebody else talk about it, but when you're squeezing on it, it's like that frame lock, where when you're squeezing on it and cutting something, you're pushing in on the lock, and it's keeping more of a strength to the locking mechanism. So yeah, very, very cool for them. So they don't really, it's not like a frame lock where they need like a relief point, because it does get thinner as it goes into that inset portion. Not a lot, hardly any milling. There's like a little bit right here, a little pocket right here. Trying to show it, but I'm looking from a slightly different angle, so just a tiny little one. But otherwise, it's pretty much flat inside. Doesn't feel too heavy to me. It definitely feels light. And the fact that it's like an inset liner, it doesn't have a lot of metal in there. Kind of goes all the way back, and then I guess this is probably titanium. Let's check it out. Look at the old flashlight with a magnet on it, and we'll see what's going on here. Oh no. So I guess it is a steel, some kind of steel on here. So I don't know, maybe, I guess I haven't heard, so I don't know. The steel on the blade is a S90V, so maybe they're using S90V here. I don't know. Maybe it's 154. I'm sorry. I don't have all those details, but it is some kind of steel. It's not titanium. And I would guess at the same time that, yeah, that's steel as well. And I like a lock bar that's steel. I think it has a better flexibility, and you don't have to worry about it getting lock stick so much. But beautiful, beautiful knife. Nice jimping, plenty of long jimping here, and then they got more out up here for utility cuts. So you really got jimping where you want it. I mean, there, and all the way from here, all the way out. If you're choked up, you still have jimping. You choke back, you still have jimping. Really nice. Don't really feel the texture so much, but it does add to the grippiness. You don't really notice it so much, but if you really press and push your thumb on there, you can feel that it does add to the grip. It's nice. I like this clip. I think it's great. You know, I like a wire clip, but you know, it's nice to mix it up. I really like variety in my knives, and I like different ones, and I'm glad that they changed it up. I wouldn't be mad at them if they kept it as a wire clip, but certainly does not give me a problem. Then they got the thumb stud and the hole, and all the ways of deploying with the reverse flick. I can do it against the thumb stud really easy. Action is so good. With the thumb, I tend to be not so much a whole thumb guy, so I'm glad to have that thumb stud there. If you ever see Satu Dave on Barefoot Bruisers, is this the new name of the channel? It's not really the new name because he's had it for a while, but he has this cool style on his little custom reblades that he does, where he'll put the kind of the slot that doesn't go all the way through, so it's more of like a fuller kind of thing, I guess. Little pocket on the side where you're going to do your reverse flick. Now he's picking, I guess I'm pretty sure he's right-handed, so he's picking the right-hand side for the reverse flick. So this side would be a pocket, and he would have a one-sided thumb stud on this side. I think that's brilliant, unless you're left-handed, of course, then it's kind of an issue. If he gets all up to speed on his reblading and maybe even making custom knives, he may make left-handed versions. I'm sure he would be willing to do that. I mean, especially when you're doing custom. But you know, this is cool. I like you know, the hole. I have no problem with it going all the way through. I don't really use it on the thumb side, but I can use either the thumb or the stud. I mean, the hole or the stud for deployment on. And so that gives me options on where I have my finger as my primary desired opening. I can do it in various different positions, and it's really good. T8s, I don't even have to check. I know T8s even up here. You can see on his wire clip, he's got a replacement screw, I guess you'd call it, for the clip, you know, to make sure that it's wide enough to hold the clip all the way on. Anyway, so I think that the way they did this mill thing, they have like two places where that way you only need a single screw and it keeps it from moving back and forth. So it's got two little slots or tabs that stick into the scale, and that therefore once you tighten it down, it doesn't move anywhere. So yeah, great. I mean, it's not a real heavy knife. I'm not going to weigh it, and my guess would be bad, but I'm telling you, for this size knife, and we'll measure it. Let's check it out. I am going to do some size comparisons, but like it was with Tempest, it's all going to be Divo knives. So if you're not a fan of Divo, and you don't have, or if you don't have a bunch of Divos, you may not be able to tell the size. So just the cutting edge alone is about 3 1/4, and so you're talking about 3 1/2 on the blade length. So that's a big plus for me. I really like a 3 1/2 inch, even longer blade. Even up to 4 inch, no problem. And bigger is certainly not a problem for me. The handle, you're talking about 4 1/2. 4 1/2, it's really good. The inner grip is going to be about 3 1/2, which I think is about perfect. You know, so when you choke back, I still get my whole hand on there. not a problem. And then there's a nice finger choil right there, which I really like, where I can get in there and I can get that grip, you know, like kind of like the Spyderco. I always talk about how that grip, the thumb over the top and the forefinger, the pointer finger in here just feels so solid in your hand. And you really get it in both grips because there is like a little bit of a indentation here and almost like almost like a guard the way it goes up like this. And having that inset and exposed liner lock really makes that happen and is very cool. So it is the thumb studs or the hole that are the only deployments. I think no front flipper on this guy. Yeah, and then the cool carbon fiber and nice lightweight. It's a great knife. Everybody who was raving about it, I agree with you. Now that I actually have it in hand and I'm not just looking at it on somebody else's video, like I said, it's a go-to Divo. I go to shows a lot, and I've been to 3 Blade Show West. I've been to 3 Blade Show Atlantas now, and once at Texas. So I do have 7 of their knives, but there was one, which is the Growler, that I did pick up. That was the White Mountain Knives exclusive. I did pick that one up, and I really like this knife. It is the most budget one from them. They do tend to be a little pricier than the Tempest, for sure. But they're also giving you a lot of carbon fiber. This one does have my Carta that I love. So you can see that the Growler is taller, but not longer. It's a little bit shorter than the tall boy. Now, got some other ones here. Let's go for one that's really short. And I think you probably know what I'm talking about. This is the nip. This is not the nip light. It's the actual nip, and it is the purple nurple. And this is another example of what I said about how they bring a bunch of different models that aren't the latest and greatest, but they bring it to the shows, and these are things that are sold out. You know, these purple nurples, they really sold out like crazy. Now, after I got it home, the girlfriend decided that she wanted it. But look, that carbon fiber kind of has some similar kind of look to it. There's a lot more pop on this one with color, with the purple, but, you know, everybody was all talking about the purple nurple. So there, again, I am influenced, and I did want to get this one. Even though the girlfriend does have it in her storage, she lets me borrow it, so it's all good. It's all good. Another one that's somewhat budget, at the 135, I don't know if you really call that budget, but it's the MASH, and this is another one that I picked up at a show. Like I said, actually the Growler is the only one I didn't pick up at a show. So it was cool. This is one of those ones that, you know, I missed it when it got dropped. And like I say, I don't really go for the drops because I'm not good at doing it. And I figure it's more fun to go and actually talk to Kevin and Colin and buy it at the show. It really is more fun for me. So I don't necessarily have to have every single one, and I don't, obviously. But I do have a lot, and I really enjoy them. And all the ones I have memories of buying them at shows, except for the Growler. And so anyway, yeah, this is the MASH, and it does have, you know, a lot of great features to it. But it is 14C28N steel, same as the Growler, so that kind of brings that price down a bit. Like the nip here, that one, even though it's a small little knife, it is more expensive at $175, and it is rocking that S90V. So you can see the MASH is getting a little closer to the size, but still smaller than the tall boy. So let's move these guys down, maybe move this one up because we have more room above. Try to keep things in the camera without crushing them too much. And moving it up, and we'll get something else. This is another one that's a little bit smaller, and here we go. We got the 80s. The 80s camel carbon. It is a cool look, and I was glad to at least get one knife with it in there. Like I say, it's not really my go-to, but I really like it. This one is the Lush. The Lush. You know, it's that theme. I think everybody knows, unless you're just not that aware of. But but he does have that drink related. I'm not sure what the growler is, if there's a drink called the growler or the nip, but I know the mash is kind of like sour mash type thing. I don't know, maybe there's a drink, but the lush, there's a more obvious drinking relation, and the tall boy. I mean, even the artwork on here, you can see there's a can, and it's talking about those tall cans, I guess. Going back, okay, what's the next one here? This is the Buzz. This is the Buzz. It's a 20 CV blade. This one is $330. It's actually the most expensive Divo knife that I have. It is very cool because it does have titanium all over it. We'll check the clip on this and see if it's titanium clip. Yeah, it looks like the clip's even titanium. So they went full-blown titanium, all blacked out, looking really cool. Hollow grind. See, do we have any that aren't hollow grind here? I can see another knife that I need to clean off, but it's definitely hollow. So I think there is a theme here. I think the growler, the nib definitely has the hollow. Looks like the growler is the only one that does not have the hollow. I think they may even put the hollow on the version 2. I can't remember. This is the original version of the growler. Okay, so I'm going to move these. I guess it's okay. You can still see. One more, and it is the original, the OG, the very first one I got from them. And this one does have I think it is a slight hollow. I believe that's a slight hollow. It's certainly not as much of a hollow as on the tall boy, but again, we're seeing a shorter knife. Let's look at the Buzz. I didn't know if I really looked at the length. Yeah, yep. So the tall boy is the longest one here on the table. Let's put the stout up here where you can see it. So yeah, I do like those longer knives. That was a reason why I should have jumped on it. But, you know, as luck would have it, I did get to grab one of these at the show, and that's what I like to do. So, yeah, another successful, man, when I got at the show and I hit up Tempest knives, Divo knives, and then some other ones that are coming up, all things that I wanted to get, I was able to get. It was just, you know, because I had my doubts for sure, and I didn't want to get my hopes up, but man, I just was happy as I could be. And kind of after that point, then it was kind of like whatever happened, it just kind of happened. We'll talk about that later. All right, guys, that's it. Man, look at those great knives. I mean, even though you can't see the. Let me put this one over here, maybe. I'll put this one over here. Great knives. A couple of them need to be cleaned up. I'll wipe them off before I put them away. Maybe spray them to get a little oil on there or something. Love Divo knives. It's gonna be a tradition for a long time. As far as I know, there's no reason to stop, because even this latest one is I love the stout, and probably is still my favorite. I just love the stout. I don't know, maybe there's just sentimental value, but I love it. But the tall boy, it's definitely moved its way up to at least second position, and it may be a definite contender for favorite from Divo. So, yeah, there it is, guys. One of my favorite purchases from Blade Show this year, the tall boy. And I will be seeing you with more cool new knives on the next one. You take care, and I'll see you then. Bye.